On October 27th, 1944, around 6 in the morning, the Soviet artillery opened fire on the positions of the 18th Army and Army Detachment Grasser. Over 60 Russian divisions launched an assault against the Army Group North. The main attack points were initially at the right flank of the 18th Army, particularly at the X-Army Corps and the 3 Germ. SS Panzer Corps between Vainode and Skuodas. Despite occasional counterattacks by tank divisions and armoured infantry regiments of the 4th, 12th and 14th Panzer Divisions, the Soviet assaults were temporarily halted at various front lines. Another focal point of the Red Army's attack against the XXXVIII Army Corps was in the Auce region. The 32nd, 81st, 215th and 329th Infantry Divisions, along with the 21st Luftwaffe Field Division, fought against the 10th Soviet Guards Army. The defense lines of the 21st Luftwaffe Field Division collapsed, and both this division and the 329th Infantry Division had to yield several kilometers of territory. Enemy infantry and tank units infiltrated between the 329th and 81st Infantry Divisions, prompting the entire corps to retreat to the eastern edge of the town of Auce. General of Infantry Grasser was relieved of command, and General of Cavalry Kleffel assumed leadership, and the army group was named after him. The battle persisted on the second day, with troops from the Kleffel Army Detachment and the 18th Army engaging in fierce defensive struggles. Despite vigorous resistance from German divisions, the city of Auce could not be held. The Kurland front lacked a continuous and cohesive main battle line in many places. At the focal points of the fighting, regiments and battalions were constantly formed into battle groups, which were then placed under the command of other divisions. Adverse weather and a lack of fuel supply further complicated the situation. Consequently, these battle groups often had to march for days through muddy terrain to reach their deployment areas. At Prekul, Soviet attack efforts intensified in the last 2 days of October. The X-Army Corps, 30th, 31st, 263rd, 563rd Infantry Divisions, as well as the 4th and 14th Panzer Divisions, became entangled in extremely heavy defensive battles. During this time, the Corps lost over 4,000 men, officers, non-commissioned officers, and enlisted personnel. The area around Auce also suffered heavily. The XXXVIII Army Corps, 81st, 83rd, 225th, 329th Infantry Divisions, as well as the 21st Luftwaffe Field Division, had to endure severe defensive battles between Lake Lialos and Lake Zebres. Both sides incurred significant losses, leading to a lull in the fighting. Supply replenishment was urgently needed, and both the Soviets and Army Group North utilized the respite to make necessary regroupings. German losses amounted to over 44,000 men in the first week of October alone. Due to further regroupings, the command staff of the Kleffel Army Detachment was moved towards the Western Front. The divisions remaining in Kurland were placed under the 6th Army Corps of the 16th Army. The 4th, 12th, and 14th Panzer Divisions were successively withdrawn from the front to serve as reserves at critical points on the front lines. In mid-November, fighting erupted again. Heavy artillery fire targeted the positions of the 18th Army, marking the beginning of the second phase of the battle. Within just 2 days of fighting, the Soviets tore a 5-kilometer-wide gap in the front of the IG Army Corps. The battles also spread to the 16th Army. The Red Army attempted to capture Saldus, Frauenburg, and directed its efforts against the front of the German XXXVIII Army Corps, resulting in high losses on both sides. By early December, the intensity of the fighting diminished as both sides were exhausted and supply problems persisted. Fatigued troops were replaced with fresh units, and all available forces were mobilized for the construction of trenches and bunkers. The motto became, "Trenches instead of graves." The Army Group literally dug into the Latvian soil. As of early December 1944, the total strength of the Army Group was just over 500,000 soldiers. Meanwhile, the country was covered in ice and snow, improving the condition of the muddy roads and pathways. The Army Group Kurland prepared for the next battle.